Page 763 for the Song of Invitation. It'll be 763.
Reading for tonight comes from 1 Samuel chapter 5, verses 1 through 5. And the Philistines took the ark of God and brought it from Ebenezer unto Ashdod. When the Philistines took the ark of God, they brought it into the house of Dagon and set it by Dagon. And when they of Ashdod arose early on the morrow, behold, Dagon was fallen upon his face to the earth before the ark of the Lord. And they took Dagon and set him in his place again. And when they arose early on the morrow morning, behold, Dagon was fallen upon his face to the ground before the ark of the Lord. And the head of Dagon and both the palms of his hands were cut off upon the threshold. Only the stump of Dagon was left to him. Therefore neither the priests of Dagon nor any that come into Dagon's house tread on the threshold of Dagon in Ashdod unto this day.
In those verses that Michael just read for us, we have a scene here of where the Philistines has captured the Ark of the Covenant. If you go back to the chapter prior to that, you'll see that the Philistines had came up against the Israelites, and this was when Eli was the priest, and his sons, Phinehas and the only reason I remember Phinehas is because of the TV show. The kids used to watch Hophni and Phinehas. They were the sons of Eli, and they did not serve God. It had talked about how that they were evil before. They demanded more from the people than they should have, and as a result of that, God brought punishment against the children of Israel. As part of that, God had brought punishment against Israel. So the Philistines that came up against them, and as they went in to do battle as the house of Israel, children of Israel went in to do battle against the Philistines, they had brought the Ark of the Covenant with them, and as a result, the Israelites were defeated, and the Philistines had captured the Ark of the Covenant. And so that as was read here in those first 4 verses of chapter 5, the Philistines bring the Ark of the Covenant into the house of their God, or into the temple of their God named Dagon. And it's interesting as you read that, how that, they arose the next day and they find that behold, Dagon had fallen on his face downward on the ground before the ark of the Lord. And it says, so they took him and they set him back up. And the next morning they came in, and behold, he had fallen face downward again, and this time his hands were cut off, and his head was cut off, and it said only the trunk of Dagon was left to him. And if you read on down through there, while the Philistines had the Ark of the Covenant, it talks about how that these tumors came upon the men, and they evidently were inflicted with mice as a result of this. And so they, because of what was happening to them, as you read on to chapter 6, it talks about how that those men decide to return the Ark of the Covenant back to the Israelites to get these things off of them. But it's interesting to note back in 4, in verse 6, it said, as they brought the Ark of the Covenant, as the Israelites brought it into the camp, it says that the Philistines heard the noise, and they say, what does this great shouting in the camp of the Hebrews mean? And when they learned that the ark of the Lord had come to the camp, the Philistines were afraid, for they said, a God has come into the camp. And they said, woe to us, for nothing like this has happened before. Woe to us, who can deliver from the power of these mighty gods? These are the gods who struck the Egyptians and every sort of plague in the wilderness. The Philistines knew who God was. And they were afraid when they heard that the Ark of the Covenant had come into the camp as the Philistines were about to go and do battle against them. And then as they bring that ark into the house of their God, God intends to show them who was powerful, and it is the God that we continue to serve today. He showed them through the destruction of their god Dagon that the Lord, the one true God, was the most powerful God that they could know, and it was not Dagon. And as we're given that example there of how he knocks down Dagon. And as we think about that in our lives today, sometimes we lose focus of who God is or how God should be in our lives. Maybe sometimes we try to bring God and set him beside some of our idols in our lives. And, God is still the one that we should serve. He is the one that we should worship. And he is the one that still has the power today. And we need to show honor and reverence to God in our lives that we lead and in the things that we choose to do. So I would encourage you tonight, as we are here tonight and considering these things, I would encourage you, to consider God and the things that we do, and where are we trying to place God in our lives? Are we trying to place God beside something that that he should not be set against or not be compared to, just as the Philistines had done here? So if you're here tonight and feel that we can help you in any way, whether it be through prayers, or if you feel the need that once hearing the gospel and repenting of your sins and confessing that Jesus is the Son of God, and if you have a desire to be baptized, we'd certainly no better time than right now. Whatever your need might be, would you please come as we
Good to see our crowd out tonight. We'll go over those that have been mentioned sick again. Mitch Travis, again, is going to take chemotherapy through January. Let's remember Gerald Rainey and the things that he's going through. Johnny Hunt is still sick, not able to be with us. Carly Hutchison is out tonight. Scooby and Sherry are also sick, not able to be here. Diana Hobgood's not feeling well, not able to get out tonight, I guess. Mark English. What number? Okay, Tommy informed me that some of his relatives, Jeff Lee, has an aneurysm. Would you say it was Rusty Johnson, who is Sue's nephew, Christine's cousin, died yesterday, and his funeral was graveside today. We're going to have a teachers meeting up front. Teachers, you need to that. Ramp 61, isn't it? Friday. Meet at JoJo's at 6:30, a ramp team. Also, our deacons, we're going to have a meeting Sunday after the 1:30 service. And our senior citizen Christmas party is tomorrow, 10 to 1, so make sure you can come for that. Are there any other announcements we need to make before we're dismissed? Oh, yeah. The Christmas parade may be on, but our participation is off because of the bad weather we're going to have, 30-mile-an-hour winds and a lot of rain, so we're not going to